there's a shift of energy, and it's like we are all aware of it because we are all doing it at the same time, but it's like we are also ignoring it. You know what I mean? There's a shift of energy. We don't really respect our cultures and our traditions. Only when it suits us, that's when we start respecting it. Don't date like you are married. Now, I know it sounds like, we are against love, but that's not the case. We are not against love. We have started confusing love and marriage as a society collectively. We confused it. You know what I mean? We can't love each other. Let's not forget that. But let's not date like we are married, because a marriage is an extra level in a relationship on its own. It's a new chapter, and it's something that we are not highly aware of, even though we are aware of. I mean, we have collectively decided that, okay, it's fine to actually cohabitate, stay with somebody, like you're not even married to them, stay with them, it's okay. But that's not, cultural. That's not our tradition. We don't do that. But it's okay, you can do it. Until now, when it comes to being married, we go back and on our culture and, do all those other stuff when you decide to be married. Go into your family, talking to your family, and yet we ignored it when we were dating. That's something that a lot of people don't realize, that it is the number one reason why relationships don't work. It is the reason why. Because we don't see the reason to honor our traditions and our culture. We don't see the reason to actually do the right things until it suits us. It's like we are one-sided with our mentality. And it's kind of weird because it seems like we have lost ourselves. Do we even know who we are? Or we know who we are when it suits us? You understand what I mean? We're not against love. We can love each other. Let's love each other. But do not date, like you're married. We have forgotten that as our traditions and cultures, you don't really go as close as going to the family's house, your partner's family, especially as a guy. I'm not supposed to step in my girl's father's house. I'm not supposed to actually be close to the siblings and stuff like that. I'm supposed to be honored as umkhonyane. I'm supposed to be seen as somebody of value, and you're not supposed to step in there. So for you to understand that dating as if you are married can ruin the relationship is because now our relationship has inputs. This is one of the reasons why we had to avoid getting close to the siblings, getting close to their friends and stuff like that. As much as we can meet each other with friends, but we're not supposed to be very close when we enter into the relationship. Friends gotta be just a byproduct, not the main thing. We're not supposed to rely our relationship on that. You're supposed to stay far, and I mean very far, from the siblings. Do not even make friends with them. They just gotta know you. It's okay. They gotta know who their sibling is actually in a relationship with, but not too much into your business. They must never get in you and your partner's business, especially the relationship. They must stay far, far, far away, and I mean that. You gotta make sure of that. That's how when you're married, you can go deep. But if you're not, don't do that. Do not date like you're married. And with that being said, you need to then understand that when you then limit nicely how you conduct your relationship and not date like you are married, then you won't have this vulnerability of now taking loans. Do not take loans. Do not add or mingle financial matters if you're not married yet. Do not even rely on each other. No, not financially. Because now that automatically puts a relationship in a position of now, benefits. It's now, love is a little bit tainted because now it's based on that benefit. So you remove the idea of those benefits. You do not mingle or play with finances before you even get married. Don't date like you're married. Finances are separate if you're not married. Yours is yours, mine is mine. I give you what I can, you give me what you can if you gotta give me. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we cannot predict the future, especially if you are not married. When you're married, you're highly protected. If you're gonna start mingling, finances with the relationship, you're protected. But outside of marriage, then you're in a situation where you might end up finding yourself paying bills alone, debts alone, because you took loans when you were dating somebody, not married to them, dating them in the name of love. I'm not being negative about love, but we need to remember that possibilities are endless if you're not in the covenant. I know a whole lot of people might just be a little bit skeptical about love, but these are some of the things you gotta consider when you're dating. Don't date like you are married. Do not put properties in each other's names because I love you. Cars, houses, whatever properties you want to put. I mean, other courtesies are there. If I got $1 million and I want to spend, 300,000 on you, I want to spend it. But now, if I say it's mine, but let me buy it, in your name, and I believe we'll be together forever, you're not married. You cannot take that risk. That's ridiculous. You gotta put your head to another level on this one and actually remember that, at the end of the day, there's this understanding, or rather, there's this shift of energy that is happening in our society, that now there's a whole lot of individualism. There's no community anymore. There's no, we just immoral these days, that you can engage in anything that can take your energy, that can access your energy. You can go along with that. And it's a risky time to actually trust much. So you gotta be very much aware of that situation that we are under. We have lost our traditions, our cultures. We are just accepting them when it's normal. So when it suits us. So a lot of people can switch up just like that. If you're dating somebody, that's your boyfriend, that's your girlfriend, they are friends. Your male friend or your female friend. That's just how it is. Do not idolize them as if like they are the end at the beginning, because they haven't committed fully. Now I know that commitment comes with a whole lot of costs, with a whole lot of changes, especially in your life, and a whole lot of people gotta process it. They gotta believe in it and execute it, especially financially, mentally, spiritually. It involves a whole lot of people, family members. So you don't really want to make too many mistakes. So a lot of people, they are very, skeptical about it. They count a lot, and that's good. But if you love somebody, when you're done counting, you will definitely get on your knee, or you will say, yes, I do. And with that, you have to always leave a room for disappointment, or you'll find yourself alone. Do not date like you're married and idolize them. A lot of people have, done a whole bad things. They've done bad things because of commitment and idolizing a girlfriend or a male friend. They have done a whole lot of bad things, especially to themselves. I do not like to, speak negative words that I do not like the actions that comes after them. So I will not say the bad things that people do to themselves, but a whole lot of bad things. So we gotta remember that, gotta be aware of that if you're gonna idolize somebody, that's not love, that's obsession. And to some extent, there's a fine line between love and obsession, commitment and obsession. When it comes to obsession, it can be annoying, especially if you're on the other side, because you're looking at this person who's not, who's not even seeing the flaws, because you want to grow as a person, but they don't see the flaws in you because they're obsessed with you. They idolize you, and that can, leave you as the obsessed person in a position of losing that person, because they'll be like, I'm not growing here. I'm just idolized. I'll be out of here. So you got to be aware of that. It's crazy right now that we're living in a time where we have to, think for other people in terms of, our reckless ways of living. And we have to fight with nature with that being said. Because now we live in a time where socially it is crazy to live in the society, because a lot of people seem like they've lost their minds. We have ourselves to blame, because we as a people have now decided that we can just make love, make a baby, and live our separate lives. And I know I'm not putting blame on anyone. We have just decided that it's okay. And yet, it's affecting a nation, a generation, our kids, growing up without fathers in a fatherless house. That has left our society in shambles. We see the consequences. Mental health issues are shooting up the roof. So if you're dating, remember that you're not married. Maybe, calm down a little bit with creating another human being who might be at the risk of having mental issues because, you guys are not married. I know you can break up when you're married, but if you take some time and make a baby when you're married, like what they say, do not, make love out of wedlock. I'm not gonna advocate for that, but I'll say make love responsibly out of wedlock. Understand yourself. Okay, look, let's make babies, people. Let's make babies. But can we at least understand that if I'm gonna make a baby with a guy or a woman, right? Do they have some sense of, care? Can they take care of the baby or not? Okay, leave that. Now let it be you. Ask yourself, can I financially raise the baby? Mentally, raise the baby in a good environment? Do I have some land? Do I have some sustainability? Do I need a job or not? Do I have a brain that can sustain this individual? Because at the end of the day, we tend to lose, that sense of care. And then we leave our responsibility to the government. And unfortunately, that's a fact. And that's why our governments are so powerful, because they take care of our kids and our elderly people. Because we have lost our sense of care. We have lost our sense of love. So you gotta stop dating like you're married. Take your time and come down and enjoy this life. If you are in a comfortable position to make a baby, I advocate for that. Make babies. It's a beautiful, beautiful human experience. In love, you still need to see that you can love somebody and not be with them. That then leaves a room for you to look at compatibility. I love this person, but are we compatible? Our values, our beliefs, are we compatible? Do I love this person on a bad day? Do they love me on a bad day? You gotta consider those things, because now you're dating with the understanding that I'm not married, but I would like to maybe. So you gotta question yourself those things. That's when you then don't idolize the person. You gotta see their flaws and ask yourself about compatibility. There's this socially accepted statement like, I'm not gonna marry somebody I haven't stayed with or slept with, because you cannot buy a car before you test drive it. It's like now we are now treating, especially women. We're treating women like objects. We're treating relationships like a video game where you have two lives. That's why there's so many divorces. That's why. And we need to think about that. That's a very negative way of navigating a relationship. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand that a relationship is not a game, and your partner is not an object that you gotta test them first. That is ridiculous, So calm down. Calm down. Go back to your father. Go back to your father's father. Remember their norms and their ways of living. Understand why they did that. And if you do tap into it and you understand why they did that, you will see the benefits. And you will understand that, these are some of the reasons why we had our people who could walk around the street literally half naked and nothing would happen to them, because there was ways of living. Right now, when we see woman naked, it's like a bizarre thing, especially on social media. Now imagine seeing a bunch of women walking with their boobs out on the street and nothing happens to you because you are so inclined with you spiritually. You understand that women are not objects. And when you understand that, then it is not bizarre when you see a woman naked. A whole lot of people, are going wild with women that are appearing, especially on social media, naked, especially if you're a celebrity. You saw that other lady. What is that other? Pel Tusi. That other lady. Everybody's going crazy about that, but it's okay. It's okay. It's how we have lost our, vibration of, seeing each other as spirits and souls and stuff like that, that we now, objectify each other. And that's ridiculous. So do not date like you're married. Remember to take it easy and calm down and understand, our ways of living have really changed. Before I married my woman, I remember that she wouldn't visit me for a long time. And I always asked myself, why? I need you here all the time. And she would just know, if you need me here all the time, you gotta go talk to my elders. Because, they still very fussy about it. They are still, in line with their ways of living, traditions and cultures. So you gotta go talk to them and calm them down and make them aware of your intentions. Be intentional, So that's another thing. Do not move in with a partner. Don't date like you're married. Don't move in with your partner. Go back home. Go back home. And if we go back to that practice, then we go back to the practice of following our traditions and cultures. Or maybe even not going back home. Just find yourself a place. Don't stay with your partner. If you find yourself in a strange situation, in a stranded situation, do not, do that. Take some time, at least visit your friend and visit her or him or visit them. Do not move in together. Because, at the end of the day, remember to leave a room for disappointment, and you don't want to find yourself loving somebody because of a place to stay. No, that's one hell of a position to be in. When you are in a relationship, you stay more than 6 months with the person, then you are, they have the rights to own half of your stuff. And, with that being said, it has left us in a position where, we date like we are married. Because it's like now we are married. But that's not the case. That is not the case. You gotta remember one thing. You're not really married. So do not neglect your dreams. Do not neglect your career. Make sure that you keep on upgrading yourself. Because if you act like you are actually married in the relationship, you might neglect your dreams and your career, your hopes, and maybe start building his or hers. And that is ridiculous. That is a position of discomfort. That is a position of failure. The chances are that you might fail in it. So we need to remember that. Do not date like you're married and neglect your dreams, your career, honoring your partner, living for your partner, upgrading them, even, helping them in their things, neglecting yours. You might find yourself in a very uncomfortable situation. So remember that. Take it easy and calm down. Remember yourself. Don't forget to remember that. Remember yourself in the relationship. When you're married, that's when you can start building with the person. You know what I mean? That's when you can start being comfortable. Yeah, we can be business partners and build businesses. But now if I'm gonna neglect my dreams, my career, my beliefs, my hopes, then that is something that I should be, worried about. So do not date like you're married and actually neglect your dreams. That's the main point. And you know what? Those are my points. Do not date like you're married. That's just what I wanted to say today. And you know what? I hope you guys really go with this. Or you know what? If you don't, comment, give me your point of view. Tell me what you think. I don't know. Maybe you have a different belief. Let's talk about it. Comment, subscribe, Mrkay.
Subscribe to the channel and join us on All in Love with Mrkay.